Hey guys, Victoria here with Take the Lead. This is Jax, and I'm going to be demonstrating for you how I teach the sit command. For a lot of people, when a dog comes in for training with me, for the most part, the dog knows sit. It has a general idea of it. The owners have probably worked on sit with a tree, with the dog directly in front of them. That's good, but we want to take it kind of to the next level because a lot of the training we do involves pressure and release. So I have to kind of reteach sit. It's kind of like, you know how to write the word sit, but can you write it in cursive? That's kind of the idea. We're just coming across another way to teach it that will correspond with the way that the rest of the training goes. A lot of people's dogs can come in front of them and sit, but let's say your dog is standing beside you in the heel position and you ask it to sit, will it? Probably not, because it's been conditioned that the motion is be directly in front of you and sit for the treat with the hand motion. So keep that in mind as we go through this, and this is how you can actually start to teach your dog to sit from different directions. It doesn't have to be directly in front of you, and you can hold them a little more accountable to doing it because they're going to understand how to do it with leash pressure and not always with the prompt of the treat. So we've got him in a prong collar, we've got a breakfast to use as reward, and we're going to show you how this works. All right, Jax, come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. So to start off, I do want to try and have him on my left side because that's where we're going to begin. Oh, are you trained now? That's where we're going to begin the sit because that's where heel is. So let's go, buddy. So I want to make sure that my collar is facing up. I want to make sure that the chain of the prong collar, you can see it because all it's here, is at the top of the neck. Because the way that sit is going to work is we're going to apply upward pressure and release it. Good boy. Release it when he gets into the position. So first I want to do it a couple times without actually naming the command, because if I name the command and he doesn't exactly know what I'm asking, it's going to be really difficult for him to put two and two together. So I'm going to just go through the motions a couple times without naming it. And I want him to know what that means. So we come to a stop and I'm going to put pressure on the collar, upward pressure. Maybe touch the butt. Yes. That's okay that he swung around right now. Let's go. We're looking for him to sit exactly beside me, but if he swings around right now, that's okay. We're going to apply upward pressure. Yes, good. So what you'll find is that I'm slacking the leash and really releasing the pressure when he gets his butt on the ground. Let's go. It's really important that you remember to drop your leash pressure. Pressure up. If I get a couple, yes, good. If I get a big pause, like if I've got a couple seconds of upward pressure and him not putting his butt down, I'm going to reach my hand back and just kind of put two fingers right there on the sweet spot, right above his tail, kind of near his butt, and just lightly touch there. Usually that will encourage a dog to sit if they're not responding to the upward pressure. So let's go. Come on, buddy. And of course I'm marking yes when his butt hits the ground and giving a reward. So, oh, good job. Yes. So I'm going to start naming it since he's starting to kind of pick up the program here. Let's go. So I'm going to say sit, pressure. Yes, good boy. Let's go. Let's go. Good boy. Do it from a different direction. Sit, pressure. Yes. So he's getting really quick, which is good. Prior to this, I tried to get him to sit yesterday. Let's go. And if there's a really long hesitation, he didn't know how to do it with leash pressure, so that's what I'm working on with him. Here comes the distraction. There's the cat. Sit, pressure. Yes. Release the pressure, reward the action, okay? You're not always going to have food with you, okay? You will not have food all the time. I use food in the beginning of training, but you're not always going to have food. So it's important that your dog understands that the release of collar pressure, the release of leash pressure is reward. He's achieved what you wanted to achieve. So we'll do this again. Let's go. Come on, buddy. There we got a distraction, so this will add a little more to it. Try and get him into position here. And apply sit, upward pressure. Yes, good. And you can see that when I talk about releasing pressure, you see my whole hand like drop towards the dog. I really want my whole leash to really drop right now. It's not just that. I want it to be very obvious. So, let's go. We'll do that again. Bring it back over here. Sit. Yes. So he's getting quicker. My cat's over there, so it's kind of distracting him a bit. Let's go. We're getting back in position. Sit. Yes, very good. And what you'll start to find is that you can start applying an automatic sit on your walks, where instead of just saying sit and applying pressure, again, we teach them that upward leash pressure means to sit. So when you're out on a walk, we don't always want to say sit. We want it to be automatic. You can come to a stop, apply pressure, give the little 2 fingers if you need to. Butt hits the ground, yes. Food, yes, release pressure. The big thing is we want him to really understand what upward pressure means, because downward pressure means down, which we'll be learning. Guiding pressure onto place. Upward pressure means sit. Let's go. Come on, buddy. Then you can start to kind of challenge them a little bit with some movement once they start to get the hang of it. More than likely your dog's already done place. Sit. Yes. Your dog's already done place, so he understands kind of sitting still while things are moving. But I'll add a little bit of movement. I keep my hands again like this, keep this little pulley there so I can catch him if he moves, if he breaks command. So I'm going to move a little bit. Yes, good boy. Let's go. Come on, bud. Good. Come on, buddy. What? Sit. Yes, very good. So I'm having to do very brief pressure now because he's getting the hang of things. I'm going to add some movement, keeping my hands so that I can easily correct him. Yes. Almost. You almost took that tushy off the ground. Nope. So he's repositioning himself because he wants to watch me. So I'm going to try and interrupt that. Yes. And if he does a good job, we'll reward him. If he breaks, I'm going to correct him again. Let's go. But you want to keep your repetitions very short. You don't want to, a sit is not like a sit is not the most comfortable position for a dog. So I don't expect a dog to stay in a sit for very long. Usually they slide to a down if we're really sitting there for a while. So it's just important to keep that in mind. Don't ask your dog to do a sit for 10 minutes because it's difficult for them to sit there. It's just not the most comfortable position. And honestly, if I put my dog in a sit and he slides to a down, or I ask him to sit and he immediately goes to a down, I don't have a problem with that, only because to me it's like he's a little more committed to relaxing, and that's what I'm going for. Jax, that's what I'm going for with my training, is a dog relaxing. So if I put him in a sit, or I tell him to sit and he lays down, for me that's okay. If I tell him to down and he only sits, then I will get him into a down. I'll correct him for that. But that's just a thing that I do, because I just know sit is like a transitional position between standing and laying down. So I want my dogs to be like totally committed to relaxation, and down is usually the only way to do that. So that's pretty much sit. Let's go. It's all about applying leash pressure and guiding into position, rewarding. Sit. Yes. Releasing pressure, rewarding for achieving it, but really having your dog understand what this upward leash pressure means. Because pressure on and off is all about our training. That's what everything we do. Yes, good boy. Distraction happens and they don't break, I always give reward, even though he didn't see him. Nope. Pressure. Yes. So that's a good example of breaking command, getting corrected and guided back into it. I apply pressure until he gets back in the sit. Where are you going, buddy? Let's go. That little furball butt slides everywhere. One more time for the camera. Sit. Pressure. Yes, very good. So your dog will pick this up quick, probably because you've done sit at some point with your dog. But now we're just applying pressure and we're teaching him how to do it from the side. So I hope this helps. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.